So when you market based on your purpose and you align it with your who, that is where you pull the market to you. So pull marketing is the way of the future, 21st century thinking, because that is all about purpose.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Excellent. Alrighty. So let's move over to the main billing and let's give my voice a rest because I'm starting to feel it now. So it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Aveline Clarke. Now, Aveline and I have never met until tonight. So we've never met in person. We've met online. And in fact, I've noticed her online. I sort of said to Tracy, I asked her to reach out to Aveline to see whether she'd be happy to come along and speak to us tonight, because she does some really good work around customer journeys and some really good work with businesses online. And she said yes. So isn't it funny when you ask, sometimes people say yes. So one of the things that's interesting about Aveline too, she lives in New South Wales, so she's an hour more than we have today. I know those of you in New Zealand have had sort of 3 hours more than us today. But she is one of the first Infusionsoft certified consultants in Australia. So things were very different back then. I think that was back in 2008, wasn't it? So that was the time that I came to Australia. So, and the online landscape was really quite different back then. But she was certified with Infusionsoft, and really what she does is she's a customer journey facilitator, a human-centered marketer, and a director of online strategy at her business, which is a Journey Point. And she's really passionate about fixing broken journeys and helping businesses to create amazing experiences for customers. So I would like you to put your hands together and welcome along Aveline Clarke.
Thank you, Nick. I feel very honored, and especially with the silent claps, because everyone's muted. But I'm really grateful to be here. And like you, I knew of you quite a while ago. So when Tracy reached out last year and said, would you like to come on? It was like, yes, please, just not yet. I had a fair bit going on with my business, which has resulted in what I'm going to present to you tonight. So my goal is for you to learn something new, which I guarantee you will. And I'd like you all to come away from this feeling empowered and questioning things, but at least you'll have something that you can do, definitely. But I want you to look at your business and the customer and their journey in a different way. And like Nick said, I've been in this space for a long time. Prior to becoming Australia's first Infusionsoft certified partner in 2008, I did work in the corporate world. I created a benchmarked onboarding journey at NAB, and that was for their entire business, and that was focused on their employees. So I was looking internally for them, but it was about giving them an experience. And I simply stepped out of the corporate world and ended up doing the same thing, but for business. And on the way, learning tools that helped me to create the same thing. So I'm going to share my screen now. And let's see how we go. Let me see if I can do this right. Can you see my slides? No? Okay, haven't done that right.
No, we can see your Zoom there.
Okay.
Now we can see your slides. That's good.
I just want to make sure that you can see if I scroll. Can you see the second one?
We can indeed. All looking
Yay.
good.
Okay,
Excellent.
here we are.
Tech works.
I want to introduce myself. We've already done that. The title of this, How to Get a Better ROI from Marketing by Focusing on Your Who. Your Who is my abbreviated version of your ideal customer. So a little bit about me. This photo was taken on the 21st of December. I'm not sure if any of you are into astrology, but I headed over to Uluru for the solstice, and me and 3 crazy friends only booked our flights 3 weeks prior, went over for 4 days and had a ball. And this was taken literally at the moment of the solstice. So we were standing out there looking across at Uluru, and it was really amazing. So even looking at this now, I kind of get, this shivers down my body, and it was just a very energetic and fun and amazing experience. And I'd never been to Uluru before. So that's where that photo was taken. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children. On the left, you can see I have twins and an older daughter. This is them. You can have so much fun with twins, especially in $2 shops when they're fighting over who's the more important one, and they both find the same crown. My boys are now 10 and my daughter is 21. Fun fact about my kids, they have birthdays separated by 2 days. So what that means for me is that over the years, I've made a lot of birthday cakes and spent a lot of money in November. And this photo was taken at my daughter's 18th, and it was momentous for me because it was the last time I had to make 3 cakes in 3 days. And this day, because she was traveling overseas the next day, I had to make 3 cakes for the party on the same day. So we had Matt's Mickey Mouse cake, the bottom there's a vanilla, Jack had chocolate, and Jade wanted cupcakes. So I'm pretty happy that my days of 3 cakes is over. And this is a recent picture of them where they were actually still for about, 10 seconds. And I managed to get a picture of them at the couch at my mum's at Christmas time, being silly. So they're kind of big there. And on the right, you'll see my daughter taking photos. And behind her is the other members of my family, our dog and our cat, who are they're best friends and very loved members of my family. I am very passionate about my garden. I love cooking food from my garden. I love growing food. I'm a bit of a foodie. And on the right is my first attempt at making pizza from scratch. And some of the food in it was from the garden. So I even made the mozzarella, and my kids loved it. They all ate it, wolfed it down. So I got a massive thumbs up. So I love creating and exploring new ways to make new food that tastes good and is good for you. Okay, a little bit about me. I do love Formula One. I am a Lewis Hamilton fan, but these pictures have relevance to what I'm going to talk about. Lewis Hamilton is inspiring to me because he always strives for better. And you might say, well, sure, he's a sportsman. Yeah, but he still has customers just like you do and like I do. He's in entertainment, because his customers are the people that follow him, that like him. And the picture on the right personifies Lewis in a moment where he actually gives gratitude to his fans. They're his customers. And he's always thanking them. He's always delivering for them, and he's always talking to them, and they love him in return. The picture on the left is a picture of him and Valentino Rossi, where they swapped vehicles. And what I absolutely loved about this, you've got 2 multiple world champions swapping vehicles. So Lewis rode the motorbike and Valentino rode the Formula One car. And in that afternoon, they had so much fun, but they got to learn different skills, but they took the skills they had into the other vehicle. And that's really similar to what I'm going to briefly mention, but what I look at with my customers around, don't always look inside your industry for how to do something. Look outside your industry. And that's why I look for people who are outside my industry around how they treat others, because that's all to do with the customer journey. It's about the experience. And these guys are obviously in a class of their own, but that's what I work on with my clients, about creating that class of their own experience. So that said, what are you going to get from this session? You're going to see your ideal customer in a whole new light. You're going to understand how to create that customer journey in a new way, and hopefully learn how to stop that spray and pray approach to your marketing and messaging, like that Nick mentioned before. Oh, I want more leads and sales. I'll just go and spend some money on ads. And see how your who needs to be positioned at the front of your business. So we've already talked about the fact that this is about the customer journey. And yet I'm talking about your who, because your who is at the core of everything that you do. Without your who, your customer, you haven't really got a business. And the journey is not just the point of the sale. So just to be clear up front, my definition of the customer journey is the complete end-to-end experience from the moment that they become aware of you right through to when they've been a customer with you for a long time. That is the customer journey. Most people only focus on the point at which they start the marketing to them. So they might come into your CRM and you start email marketing, and then to the point that they become a customer. And most people, and I'd say 90% plus, focus on just that point, that part there. And that is a failure of creating an ideal customer journey. And I guarantee if that's all you're focusing on, you're going to have a lot of gaps, and you're going to have attrition and turnover. And that's where you're going to have a lot of disappointment and ROI issues. I believe that most marketing is flawed, sorry, I'm going to start that again. I believe that most marketing is done wrong in this day and age because most people focus on the shiny object. So we all have a product to sell, and most of our marketing is push focused. And what I mean by that is you differentiate your business based on your product and not something else. So when you run an ad, when you talk about what you do, most people talk in terms of benefits and features, and that's what we've been trained to do. We have. You know, I've been in this industry a long time, and there's been such a big evolution, but also a big push and I guess a conditioning of how we market. And that has been all around, well, you've got to go out with the benefits of your product because that's what differentiates your product. Well, there's a different way to do that. And if you haven't heard of push versus pull marketing, I want to just quickly explain it here. The push is where you go out and you push the market. You're actually saying, this is my product. It's really wonderful. Here's all the benefits and features. Buy it now. Pull marketing is where you create an attraction without pushing your product. You're actually pulling the market to you. And certainly over the last 12 months, we've all had to shift and change. Consumer behavior preferences have changed, buying preferences have changed. And we know that it's been a lot harder in some respects to sell, and new markets have opened up, new products have been created. The push way of marketing hasn't worked so well. It doesn't work that well. So when you market based on your purpose and you align it with your who, that is where you pull the market to you. So pull marketing is the way of the future, 21st century thinking, because that is all about purpose. So paid ads often leave us very frustrated because we think we're doing everything right because we've been taught that's what you do. You go, everyone's on Facebook, everyone needs to run Facebook ads. But unless you understand who your who is at a really deep level and understand what your purpose is and align the two, your ads will fall flat largely, or you'll be very disappointed. And here's the other thing. Once you've spent the money on the ads and got those leads, if you've got any, once they come in, you've got to pay for more. It's like you've just got this cycle always happening. So the old model, push, is about products first and people last. Okay, it's been internally focused. So people are focused on themselves. This is an old model. The customer journey has been an old model. It's been around focusing on ourselves, our products, How can we get, be higher, better than our next door neighbor? And using the tactics that we've been trained and taught to use over the last 10, 15 years, and certainly since the onset of the big brands on the internet, which was 2006. Twitter, Facebook, Google, they all launched in 2006. And that's been, if you look at where we are now, back to 2006, and just ask yourself, what's shifted in my market, in my industry, versus the period of time before that, you'll be amazed at the shifts that's happened. And then over the last 12 months, because we've hit this recession, people are looking at things and wanting things differently. So the customer journey has never been more important to focus on, because people need to be understood more than ever, especially when we hit these moments in time as in the recession, COVID, lockdowns, people being separated, everything else. So most service-based businesses, I've got listed on the left there, just some examples of the types of businesses that I've worked with that have been using this old model. So what's the new one? Oh, it's a pull model based on people first, products last. When I say externally focused, I mean it focused on how I can contribute to you rather than what you can give me for my product. So it's purpose-driven. And talking with my colleagues who have gone through 3 recessions and look at economic cycles, have advised that we're at the start of a 400-year cycle of being driven by a sense of purpose. And you'll notice that because throughout our world, certainly in the last 12 months, it's become really big where for certain people to go into a new business model and create movements, whether it's water or the planet or the people, and there's segments of society, there's these movements and people are aligning with them because they want to align with purpose. So again, we're talking about alignment with other people. So it's a people, heart-based, emotionally generated experience and pull rather than focusing on what we can get and just selling a product. When I say on the dot point down the bottom, second bottom left, moving from silo to integrated, silo means doing business on our own, just doing business on our own and that's it. Integrated is where we're moving. That's collaboration. That's looking at how we can work together. Me working with partners to see how we can support each other who have maybe aligned businesses. That's the way of the future. It's working together. So what's my purpose? When I brainstormed this, I came up with to bring the spotlight back onto the person in a business, to flip the focus from product to person, and to create greater value for people over products. And I distilled it down into 2 words, which is humanising business. And that is in its essence what a customer journey is all about. You think about customer journey, you want your customers to have an amazing experience. And our friend who does our reputation online, you will understand that it's all based on someone's experience. It's how they feel. And they'll give a rating based on their experience, based on how they've felt. And have their needs been met? Have they been understood? Has their expectations been met or exceeded? And those ratings are really important. So that's a key metric of how well you are building your customer journey. Now, at this point of the night, my cat has been running around and crying at me. I don't know if yours have, but I just want to let you know that the cats have been fed, so don't listen to their, yeah, okay. So we're all good. Just a funny there. All right, this is the Who journey. This is my model. I'm actually going to give you exactly what I take my one-on-one clients through. I run workshops on elements of these things, but I have a genius model. If anyone, you may have seen the genius model framework before. Simon Bowen teaches this. It's fabulous. So I have 3 core areas of how to build your customer journey. Ironically, most people think of customer journey and think of products, and then they think about technology. Those 2 things contribute 2 items out of my 9. So My first circle here is Who Mastery. Then my second one is the marketing bridge. Third one is Who Delivery. So that's the order that I go through. And I'm going to take you through and explain every point of my 3 circles here tonight, which is the Who journey. It's effectively the customer journey. In the middle intersecting point of my 3 circles is where people want money and freedom. Effectively, that's why most of us are in business. We want freedom, we want money. But we also want to make more impact. We want to serve more people to do that in order to then have the money and freedom. So the key to maximizing your marketing and making it work like glue is to ensuring that you've got all of this together. Otherwise, you are doing the spray and pray approach. Let's get started. So number 1 is the Who DNA. So what do I mean by that? The very first point is I uncover with my customers what the DNA of their ideal customer is. Now, I'm going to say most people do this very average. I'd say 99% of people don't do it anywhere near the depth that I do. And when they do go through the process that I do, and I'm going to give you an exercise in a moment to go away and take into your own business. When they do it, the amount of clarity and aha moments they get is just astounding. So the DNA is made up of obviously just a short, succinct understanding of who they really are. Now, as an example, my ideal customer is purpose-driven businesses, because that's who I've discovered and uncovered that I work with best, that I want to work with. They are my ideal customer. And I've distilled that down into those 3 words. Your purpose. You've got to have a purpose. Now, how is that different to your why? Because we've all watched Simon Sinek Start With Why. We've probably done the work on it and it's fabulous. And I used to teach it in businesses and corporates, where your why is asking an intrinsically motivated question, directed question. So your why looks inside. Your purpose is who can I impact? What impact can I make on the world? It's externally focused. The why is still really important because you're still got to understand what makes you tick and what gets you out of bed in the morning. But the next evolution of that is, who do I want to impact? And what impact do I want to make? What do I want to be known for? If you write those questions down, what impact do I want to make in the world? The end of my career, what do I want to be known for? And answering those 2 questions takes me and my clients sometimes half a day. The next part of this is your core asset that people buy and need. So this is your who. So what is the asset in your business that they buy? We all talk in terms of our products, and we've all got different types of products. And the asset is the valuable asset in the business that sits at the core. It's all of your IP. So what I'm teaching you tonight, my 9 circles, my 9 points of the 3 circles, is my IP. And I'm giving you the overview of each. So in my business, my core asset is my Who Journey program. It's all of the IP. The next point is your who's biggest desire. So what is it that they really, really, really desire and want? And the next part is your who's biggest fear. And it might seem like a really easy thing to answer, but most people, when they come to me, have no idea exactly what those are, because most people don't actually ask their clients or don't have the kind of conversations that unpack that. So here's an exercise for you. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. And I will say this could be the single most important thing you do all year. And why? Because by doing this exercise, you are going to absolutely understand exactly who your ideal client is. And the things that will come out of this process, this exercise, may shock you, but also may delight and excite you, because it will show you where the gaps are and there will be opportunities as well. So the first thing I'd say is analyze your past 12 months of customer history. Go through all your invoices, go through all the customers that you've had over the last 12 months, especially the last 6, because of the year that we've had and the shift that we've all had. And when I say analyze them, look into all of them and just go, right, what are the key things that I liked about them? What didn't I like about them? Look at what they bought, how often, when, depending on what you sell. And then I want you to choose 5 or 6 of the best of them. And when I say best, I mean the ones that contain the qualities and characteristics that you feel are the most important to you in your business. And with my clients, we actually list all the things that they want in what makes an ideal customer. So their minimum expectations, and then they use that list of minimum expectations to do this exercise. You might think that this is really, fiddly, but my gosh, it's just so important and it's so rewarding. Okay, you've got your 5 or 6 best. Contact them, ring them up, invite them to a phone call where you'd like to pick their brain. It's not a sales pitch. You let them know of that. You tell them that really you're trying to understand your customers better and you're wondering if they would be happy to share their experiences with you, 30 minutes, 45 at the most. If they're your best customer and they've enjoyed your process, they'll say yes. I've got one client who offered hers like a voucher or something for their time. Depending on the kind of clients you have, that might not be necessary. Then you need to have a list of questions that go with that so that you can get them to open up and talk. So why did they choose you? What was great about the experience? What could have made it better? What didn't they like? Then you need to ask some questions around what was it that they were wishing for and desiring at the point that they purchased your product? So what your goal here is to really unpack the layers of this onion to get to the point where they are open enough to just drop in the words around what it is that they really, really want. And then throughout this conversation, you also need to understand what it was that they were trying to avoid or dreaded the most before they bought from you. So deep down, we're all trying to avoid something. And when we make a purchase, all purchases are made emotionally first and then justified rationally second. So when you figure out what that deep avoidance and the dread was, wonderful. Now this could take 30 minutes, it could take 45. Obviously you're going to ask them questions, but it's all about keep asking them probing questions. What did that really mean to you? How did that make you feel? Why was it so important to you? So those kinds of open questions. So you repeat this process for all 5 or 6 of your best customers. Now you're going to record each of these on Zoom. You're going to upload the transcript. Sorry, you upload the thing to get it transcribed like rev.com. And yeah, it might cost you $10 to $20 to pay for the transcript, but it's so worth it because it saves you having to type it out. You get the printed transcript of each conversation, and then you take a highlighter and you're going to go through with one color and you're going to focus on where they've talked, what words they've used around what they desire. So what are the desire phrases or words? And you just highlight them all and do that with the same color on all 5 or 6 interviews. And then choose a different color for what they dreaded or were trying to avoid the most. And guess what? Then at the end of that, you sit there and you look at it. You don't summarize. You don't want to change their words. The key thing here is that you've got their language. And that is so powerful because when you can speak their language, you can talk to them and they will resonate with the words that you use. So you're trying to understand things in their language, not yours. Unfortunately, most people think that they are their own ideal customer. And that's why they don't go through this, because they make an assumption that they already know their customer and they put themselves in their customer's shoes. And that's not how you figure out your ideal customer. This process I guarantee will just blow you away. So there are your keywords. That process alone, I can't tell, I could spend half an hour talking about all the things that would give you, but honestly, it's going to give you so much. I offer another service, which is another step up for my premium clients, where I have a partner, and what she does in her business is she has a whole 3-month program where she actually is a third party and contacts the customers for you and for the business owner. So she finds she gets a list of all the happy customers, the unengaged customers, and then the customers that aren't very happy. And she goes through and finds out all the dirt and all the good stuff. And she does that over a period of time. And so that's like at another level by getting someone objective to get that intel. But you can do this, and this is really powerful. So what you'll get from that, with those words, you will use that in number 6, when we get to 6. All right, next step, who avatar. So what's the avatar? The avatar is a very, very detailed creation of your who. And when I say very detailed, so let's say you've gone and done that exercise, you would have found out a fair amount about them. And what we do for our clients is we create a very detailed avatar. We understand not just their demographics, it's not just how they present to the world, but it's the deeper stuff, the inner stuff, what it is that they're really trying to achieve, what really holds them back in their life, what really makes them hurt or feel a certain way. And ours is 4 pages long. We name them and we have a photo in there. And whenever we do this, we give it to the client, all of a sudden they talk internally about this person. And one client, she came back to me, Aveline, oh my gosh, we've been in business 12 years. We've never done this before. All of a sudden we just talk about Emma, and life is just so amazing. The staff all know about Emma, and it's just wonderful. The clarity is just amazing, because then you focus everything on that person. Okay, story. I had a customer say to me just yesterday, we're in a meeting, and he said to me, I just would really, really love a way. And he's only early on in the program and we're not up to this point yet. And he said, I just feel that my customers just don't know what they're getting. Like, they don't understand exactly who I am until they've actually already signed up and started working with me. So I just need to I would love it if there was a way I could show them who I am and create that connection before they were working with me for, say, a month. Well, that's where this comes in. So the who story is a step that I do because it's a way that you can create an asset in your business for your marketing that's part of the customer journey, where you can create this story of your avatar. So let's say your avatar's name's Emma, just because that's the example I gave you before. We'd create a story. And what is that? It's the emotional journey of her. And it starts not when she's met you, but it starts when Emma has first been triggered by a pain or an event that makes her realize that she needs a solution. So that's the point that the story starts. And then we write a narrative around, very high level, around what Emma does and what her options are and the emotional highs and lows. And then what happens when Emma actually buys from you. And then, well, this happens. And wow, there's a happy ever after story here. So, but there's some fear in there, and there's some what ifs in there. And what if Emma does nothing? And what if she goes to the competitors? Luckily, Emma buys from you. And after X amount of time, this is what's happening. Then this happens, and then this happens. And part of the intel we got in the exercise where we understood what your who's deepest desires were and what they're trying to avoid, we bring this into the story. So when you have a story, now you can do a number of things here. You can create a blog post story. You can create a series of social media posts with the whole story. You can create, you know, and put an article all around, or you can create a video, a caricature. One of my clients did this just recently, sent it to me last week, and she just got someone on Upwork to put together one of those cartoon little videos. Goes for just under 2 minutes. And it's so powerful because now people watch that and they go, oh my gosh, she understands me. And they get it. So already there's an alignment with your who. So you can imagine just think about how powerful that would be for your customers in your business if they had that before they've even met you, because that is a pull strategy, right? This is all about the pull. Remember, it's all about focusing on the who. All right, number 4, we're moving into my circle number 2. And in number 4, we cover products. So I use methodology from a business called Bob, Business of Brand. They're an entrepreneur school based in the UK and Australia. And I use a product pyramid rather than an ascension model. The whole point of the pyramid is that you look at products this way rather than this way. And at the top of the pyramid, we've got products that are awareness. So we capture most of the market awareness at the top. So where people become aware of your brand. And there are different types. So there are podcasts and books and things like that where people can become known by these products. And moving down the pyramid, there are different types, and this is where it's important to have the products created in a way that you're not going straight from an awareness product to your core product. Remember, I talked about core product before? And most service-based businesses, a lot of coaches and consultants, you probably understand this, might have an awareness product or a lead magnet, and then they sell themselves and the one-on-one time, nothing in between. So they get maxed out and they don't know how to leverage. More coaches and consultants are looking at how to create courses and delivering their programs in an online way, and membership sites, and other business owners are doing the same. So you want to think about the types of products you've got and ensure that you may have something that creates awareness for your brand, for your business. And the next one needs to be something that educates people in a little bit of your IP, not all of it. You don't want to sell, the whole suitcase on the next purchase, but it's around leveraging. So you don't have to sell yourself on the next purchase. What can you give? Nick mentioned about my workshops. Yes, I do workshops and I've got some online programs, and that's my next level down. And again, it's all about a pull strategy because it's all focused on your who, and you're also, remember, you're aligning with your purpose. So you've got to live from the purpose, focus on your who, and that alignment, when it's created authentically, when you've got that authentic alignment, and you create the products from this, it becomes easy and seamless and exciting. So when I say on this dot point, brand led, I mean you're using awareness products that sell your brand. So you look at Nick's business, and he's got awareness in the market because of this webinar. He's got the Facebook page. He's got other places where he's seen and known. And that's an awareness product. So he captures the market, that they get awareness of his brand. And then he's got other products underneath that take people on a journey. He's not selling his core product up front. And when you do it this way, you're going to be able to scale your business so much easier and you won't get maxed out. Now, at this point of my journey with my customers, when we've mapped out their products, they feel like doing this because honestly, it's been like a complete flip of their brain. Their brain's hurting. They've gone through so much. So I say, yeah, just go and sleep. This is my cat, Georgia, by the way. This is her asleep with her feet and tail in the air. It's quite hilarious, but that's what she does. She keeps us entertained. So it's important to take breaks. When I go through this, please don't feel tired or think that, oh my gosh, there's so much I've got to do. Yeah, and it does take time. So I've learned, and I make sure my clients do, take breaks. Assets. Okay. What are assets? They are the things that you need to create in your business that help you deliver awareness in your campaigning. So whilst you have awareness products like a podcast or a book, you also would have things that go on social media, and you might have a webinar like this. So this is an asset. So you've got to create assets, and I'm going to take you in a minute through the different types of assets that you've got to have. And you can take a screenshot of it, and that's all good. So we have different channels, and what I do with my clients is we map out the channels that their who comes to them by. And remember, you did that exercise back in step 1, so you know exactly who your who is, you know how they find you, you know where they hang out. So you're not going to waste your time on different marketing channels that they're not there. This is why some of my clients don't run out Facebook. They're not there. Some of my clients are not on Instagram, Facebook. They're only on LinkedIn, they're all different. But it's really important to identify these channels. And the whole point is that these have to pull the market to you. Now, by planning out your assets in this way, it makes life a lot easier. So you'll see in the top left, and by the way, I've used this, it's copyrighted by Bob. This is who I mentioned before. I'm a partner of Bob, so I'm allowed to use this. We've got, and they do this brilliantly, and that's why I'd rather just share this because they are so expert at this. Take a screenshot. On the top left, you've got the different types of assets. There are 4 types. You've got marketing, social, sales, and automation. And there's some dot points down the right-hand side that describe the different types. The key is for you to create one main big asset type, right? And from that, you create the rest of it to save you time. So you're not always creating content. And I'm sure Nick has taught you about content creation, and others have as well. A tip that I got given early on was try and create the one main thing of your assets. And from there, you can create your blog posts, you can create social media posts, you can create stories, etc., to save you time, but keep it all aligned. And here's the other tip. All of the pain points that you got in exercise from point number 1, you can use those for articles. You can use those to create your video or your webinar, your main asset thing, right? Because you're creating it based on exactly what you found out. See how now this is all tying together, and you're creating all these things that are aligned for your who. You're creating the journey. Right now we're in strategic mode. We're still in planning and strategic mode, going through these 9 points. Underneath, we've got touch points. So when you're going to campaign, when I mean by campaign, when you're going out to market, you've got something new to talk about. For you to really saturate the market and hit a lot of people and to make it big, when the big branding agencies do this, they hit a minimum of 3 touch points to be able to make a splash. So just think about that for your business and what you can do for you. Point number 6, pitch. Now, we've all been taught the elevator pitch and how to how to sell yourself, and people say, oh, so it's time to introduce yourself. Everyone tell each other what you do and the problem that you solve, and we all answer it. And I've done this for many years, been in so many networking groups, and obviously I started in this industry 2008. And having come from a people background, I was never really satisfied. And it's only been in the last 2 years that I uncovered this formula. And it's a combination of your who, your purpose, your core asset, and again, going back to the exercise in point number 1, their biggest desire and the thing that they want to avoid the most. And putting all of those elements together, there's 5, it is so powerful. Now, why do you need your purpose? Well, let me explain something. I'm going to give you my pitch, and this is unpracticed. I've given it a few times now. So I serve purpose-driven businesses. I help purpose-driven businesses to serve more of their ideal customers and avoid the merry-go-round of the unreliable marketing provider. And I do this through a genius activation program called the Who Journey, focusing on the ideal customer, which helps to bring the value back to people in business. That's my pitch. And that's the 5 things. Now, when I do it with my customers, sometimes it takes half a day to get to that point because words are so important. And by doing the exercise in step 1, you're going to get their language, and you've got to get their language for your pitch. Otherwise, your pitch is in your language and you're not speaking in theirs. And you want to pull the market to you, so you want to speak their language. I feel it's one of the most important messages you can create, but you've got to do the previous steps. So you think about the previous steps that we've gone through, and which was the exercise in step 1. Step 2 is the avatar. Step 3 is the who story. Step 4 was your products, understanding what they are. And that includes what your core asset is. Step 5 was all the assets, so what you're actually going to create. And then we get to the pitch. I hope that's been a good one for you. I would love to take you through an exercise on it, but like I said, you've got to really do the work to get those 5 ingredients to get it right. Your who, what they desire, what they want to avoid, your core asset, and your purpose. Okay, number 7, this is the customer journey. It's the design of the journey. When I created the employee journey at NAB, it took about 9 months of discovery. And when I did that work, going out, focus groups, going out to all the different types of employees they had, customer facing, behind the scenes, all the different departments, I found, I broke it down, and we found that there was 7 stages. And that's been the same structure that has existed in business as well. So we work with a 7-stage model. It's not the same as other marketers might talk about, but like I said at the top of the conversation, when I talk about customer journey, it is the point at which they become aware of you, right through to when they've been a customer for at least 12 months. Now, you might have a business where you just sell a widget or a product and they buy it and leave. So for them, it might just be until they've become a repeat purchaser. That's the journey. And what we do is we design the journey based on the product pyramid and the assets. So we say, where are the awareness products and what assets have we got? What are we campaigning with? What's the journey? So if a campaignable asset has found someone on social media and brought them to your website, because all roads lead back to the website, I hope you understand that. All roads should lead back to your website, where there's an awareness product and the next product down, what we call leverage products, where people can then take the next step. So we map the journey between the products that all make sense because they're all based on your who. And we work our way down. So we have a minimum of one product at least in each category. We go work the way down and we map it out. Do we use automation? Absolutely. This part is the design. And we do it visually. So I recommend when yourself, if you want to look at this, think about what I've just said from the point at which they become aware of you right through to when they've been a customer for a long time. If you haven't got a whiteboard, do it on whiteboard, paper, map it out. What are all the touch points along the way? Whether it's, and when I say touch point, that could be where they land on your social media site, on your website, or on a landing page, on another page. And then what happens then? What's the next point? And at which point do they actually speak to a human? So we map the journey and we look at how many times it takes to speak to somebody before they become a customer. And we visualize that and we map it out and we go, right, how many times does this happen? And what happens here? And what happens here? What do we need to do over here? And let me tell you, it's not, you don't just create it once and then forget it. This is an evolving thing. You need to be revisiting your who journey ongoing. Every 3 to 6 months, you sit back and go, where are the gaps? What's going on? The feedback that you go and get from your customers is going to tell you if your who journey is broken anywhere. So this is the design part. I love this picture. I just wanted to quickly share it with you. Tell your friends you love them. I do. And the same goes for your customers. How many times do you give love to your customers? And really try to make a relationship and build that relationship. And if the last 12 months has taught us anything, it's that we need more connection, but also it's more human connection that's authentic and it's aligned and it's in our hearts. So think of a way tomorrow that you can go out and tell your customers how you feel. Little tip. Okay, number 8. Who, MOM, stands for moments of meaning. So what we do is we identify the connection points throughout the journey visually, and we look at where we can actually humanize a connection point. We have been conditioned to automate everything. Now, absolutely, we need automation, but the automation could be simply to remind you to do something, because journeys that are completely automated will lose. People want people. People buy from people. So what we look at is how can we create those moments of meaning? Where are they in the journey? How can we personalize this? How can we make this real? And how can we create a wow at the right moment? And we design it. You think about your business and where you do this. Most people don't even think about it. They just, once the sale comes in, then it's, oh my gosh, got to deliver. And if you've got your delivery process down pat, then you just go straight into delivery mode. But this is the point where doing this exercise means stepping back from your business. And this is the working on your business part. And again, you look at your customer journey that you've drawn out and you work out what would really create the wow. Go back to the results of the exercise you did in step 1 and look at what it is that they desired. What can you implement here that makes them feel like they've achieved that? How can you give them more of what they desire? Can you see how powerful this is? I hope you can see how powerful this is. It's so powerful. But here's the thing, it's got to be real. You can't do this and just not really want to do it. It's got to come from within you. People will know if you're faking it. All right, guess what? The last one is technology. Most people think customer journey is the technology, and I have been working with technology for 20-something years, and yet we are now in an era, the pendulum has swung back. Used to be all face-to-face and manual, and meetings in business was done in person and handshakes. We've moved everything online, everything's automated. We are moving back to a place where we're more integrated, and I like to look at it as being humanizing business. So how can we humanize what we've created in this online world? And we look at the journey points, products, the assets, the channels, and then we create a plan for the optimum tech plan for delivering it and ensuring that all the moments of meaning, that the delivery, everything is done properly. And notice that the tech comes last. And it always makes me chuckle when I say that I work with customer journeys and people say, oh, so you must do like marketing automation. You just do like, yeah, cool. And as you can hopefully tell from what I've taught you tonight, your customer journey is 99% not technology. Your customer journey is everything else. The technology simply supports you to deliver the journey. You've got to see it like that. Technology is important, but it comes last. So they are my 9 points, and I hope you've gotten a lot from this. I just want to say Nick invited me here. I really appreciated it. He told me I could make an offer, and I'm so not a salesperson. I just wanted to show you this. I created this. This is actually what I do. Like I've said to you, this is my price on the left. That's what I do with my one-on-one clients. It's a 3-month program. I only have 5 clients at a time. And I'm moving to a group model, and I'm starting a group on the 8th of April where there's 5 people in a group. And because Nick was kind enough to let me make an offer, I am offering a 30% discount to this beta group that I'm doing. And again, it will be 3 months and group weekly sessions. There's 30% off and there's a payment plan there. So as a bonus, I'm going to be including the Bob Business DNA program, which is an online course as well, which is fabulous. And you'll get even more amazing value from that as an aside to what I take you through. So if you're interested, please send me an email, aveline@journeypoint.com.au. Otherwise, or if you just want to chat and have a conversation with me, I am more than open to just sharing a bit of my time. And if you want to ask me a question, because I'd like to offer that to you guys for being part of Nick's group, go.oncehub.com/Aveline Clarke is my booking link in my calendar. So that's the end of my presentation.
Absolutely awesome. That was some really good information. It's always hard when you get sort of someone on that you don't really know, but a lot of the things that you're saying there, I'm thinking, oh yes, I relate to that. Yes. I've said there's a couple of things that I've sort of said, and I think, great, this is where the alignment really is. And so the info, there is just so much work in there. I'm just sort of thinking, this is all my evenings taken up now just to sort of try and refine all that. But we've probably got time for a couple of questions. So anyone got any questions or any comments that they would like to ask Aveline while we've got her here? So feel free just to unmute or drop something into chat there if you've got a question or a comment.
Hi, Aveline, it's Jane here. I'm an online art teacher, and even though pivot has become the big word that we're using these days, it's exactly what I did last year because of what happened to our world. And all of a sudden, I didn't have to sell an art course online because everyone's online. All the kids are online doing education and everything. So it was very easy for that. So in regards to the first big load of text that you said about speak to 12 of your past clients, this is new to me. Like it kicked off this month, and there would be probably, like, I've got a database and I've emailed that database, but they are either very old, back in the days when I actually was teaching in person, or they're very new.
Yeah. So
I'm just wondering, I don't know whether it's something that you can answer or not, but how would I sort of like modify those questions to an almost either old audience where the kids are actually 5 years older and not doing art anymore, or the newcomers that I'm capturing through, new emails?
I would say if they're new types of customers, like at the moment that are coming through, then see if there's a way you can build in some questions at a certain point, which are around that. And so over time, so you only need about 5. So just choose 5 of them. And obviously, because then you might not know straight away if they're your best, but you sometimes we just have a knowing. We get along so well, they're easy, you know, they pay on time, they're all the things we love about customers. And so what you can do is, just work with them now. Depending on how you already communicate with them, you might find that there's an opportunity to say, hey, would you mind staying on for 15 minutes? I've got some questions. Or, 30 minutes. Would that be okay?
Yep.
I do it with these ones now.
Yep. Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions or comments there?
Can I comment, Nick?
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
I've got a question, because I just found it very interesting, Evelyn, when you're talking about understanding the customer's language. Because I've been put in this position this week to describe how my customers describe my product. Now, the problem I have with that is, we've got a very innovative product that is new technology, and it works very well. So I've been back through my customers' testimonials, and the most common word I get is amazing. Not many other words, pet care, because we're in the pet industry, but amazing is the most common word there. So I'm interpreting that is the results that our customers are getting is beyond their expectations. So when I come to describe things in their language, amazing is not really enough.
No, you're right. Because I can be amazing, you can be amazing, so can everyone else here. So what does that really mean? So that's why I really specified in that exercise to look for what they desire, and then look for what it is that they're trying to avoid. And you only get that intel by speaking to them and asking the questions. And that's very different feedback to a testimonial, because a testimonial is a very brief summary of what they like so much. Most testimonials are positive, especially if you've asked for it because you know that they've enjoyed it or it's been a good experience. So that's why it's important to take the effort to do this separate exercise and treat it separately. So it's very different to a testimonial.
So what would be a good strategy to actually ask them the question? Is it to get on the phone and do that, or?
Yeah. So you reach out to them and say, look, I'd like to learn, because this is a new product. I'm really keen to get some feedback on your experience with us and the product. Would you mind, giving me half an hour of your time? And you could offer them something in return if you felt that was, appropriate. But most people will be happy to share. Most people love to talk. And if you've already given them a good experience, they'd probably be happy to talk with you. So you say, I'd like to pick your brain so I can learn some more. Would that be okay? And then they say yes. And then you arrange a time and you do it on Zoom.
Okay.
Yep. And you record it. That's where you make sure you record it. And yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Look, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And for those that are recording it on Zoom, if you want to get those transcriptions and want to automate the whole process, you can connect your Zoom account up to Otter, so Otter.ai, and it will automatically do all of that for you. So once the Zoom is finished, you'll have the transcript in your inbox in under an hour. And then you can go through and highlight and go into, or you can even go into Otter and listen to it and do the highlights and all that sort of thing. Pretty amazing. So tech comes last, but I love some of the tech.
Definitely. It saves time. Yeah, that's a great one.
I'm sure you've got shares in Otter, Nick.
Oh, I wish I did. All right. Well, look, that's probably all we've got time for questions. I've dropped Aveline's email address into chat. So feel free to reach out to her. There's just a ton of information in all that, and some real value in actually doing it. And I think the real value is going to be sitting down and doing some of those exercises that Aveline talked about tonight. So thank you very much, Aveline. And you've got a gift for someone here tonight, don't you?
I do. Who's that going to be?
Well, do you want to tell us what it is, and then we'll whip over to this unique way we've got of drawing it?
Sure. I have an online course. It's the Customer Journey Mini Course. I sell it for $97, and that is the gift I'd like to offer you. Plus, once you've finished that, you can get on the call and have a strategy session with me for an hour.
Awesome. Who wants that? Anyone? If anyone not wants it, I'll take you out of the draw. No, everyone wants it. Okay. All right. Well, let's, here's our unique way of drawing. We have the wheel of names, which many of us will be familiar with. So can you see the wheel of names? Yes, good. All right, so all your names are in there. You have to be in to win. So you actually have to be here. So let's go and draw the winner out.
Yay.
Congratulations to Stacey. Are you here, Stacey? You are indeed. Yes, there we are. Excellent. Well, congratulations, Stacey. That prize is yours. And who better for that to go to than you with your business as you're growing and developing that as well too. So yeah, really happy about that. That's an awesome thing. So to get there, if you just connect with Aveline here, so maybe drop your email into chat to Aveline so that you both can connect there, or you can drop her an email tomorrow, I'm sure. All right, so thank you very much for everyone for coming along tonight, and especially thank you for Aveline for so generously sharing tonight. A couple of quick announcements as well. We have office hours tomorrow. So if you're around tomorrow, you want to meet up with some inspiring and inspired business owners to have a chat over coffee about probably some of the things that came up tonight, or anything else about the online world as well. You're welcome to join us. 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. And that's, what's that? 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock New Zealand, Hong Kong. What's that? That must be 8 o'clock in Hong Kong, early in the morning. So welcome to join us. And it is on Zoom online. The link is in chat at the moment too. So just rock up with a cup of coffee, glass of wine, whatever you have at that time in the morning, and come and join the conversation. And again, the replay of this will be up on the YouTube channel tomorrow. So YouTube channel is the SmashGo channel. So please go and subscribe to it. We need some sort of subscribers so we can get our vanity URL. So rather than having that string of numbers and all that sort of thing there, we'd like it to say SmashGo. So I'd love you to go and subscribe. The benefit for you subscribing is that as soon as that video is uploaded, you'll get a notification to let you know that it's there. And, you know, that'll be a great resource as you're sort of working through your customer journeys. And then finally, we have, almost finally, Facebook. If you're not on the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook page, go and join that, because that's where we announce these events, and we have other bits and pieces of information and tidbits and tech stuff and all that going up there. And feel free to go and introduce yourself and your business as well too. There's a whole lot of cool people in there. So if you're not a member of that, go and find Business Owners Smashing It Online on Facebook and join that. And next week, we'll be back here, same time, same place next week. And we have a... We do have a speaker next week. I'm not sure who it is. So we'll announce that during the week. I know that Lorena and JM have been busy contacting them and getting everything all organized behind the scenes as well too. So thank you to JM and Lorena for actually making all this happen, because if it was left up to me, it'd never happen. All right, well, go and have a great evening. Thanks again, Aveline. Thanks everyone for coming along, and I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow and some of you next week. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.